Hi there, and welcome once again to another video on the channel. Thanks very much for tuning in, and I hope you're going to enjoy this one. Quickly want to say thanks to everybody who's subscribed so far. We are closing in on 150 subscribers, which is unbelievable for me, to be honest with you. I didn't think I would ever achieve anything like that, but yeah, thanks very much to each and every person who has subscribed. If you haven't subscribed and you're watching this, then please feel free to. It is greatly appreciated, every single person who does take that opportunity and time to watch these videos. But without further ado, getting on with it, as you can see, this was a daily race C at Interlagos Group 3, and we are in the Peugeot RCZ, and it's a car I really like driving around this track. I feel very comfortable in it, and I've been getting some good results in it all week, as you can see here. We are starting in pole after setting a decent quality lap, 1:28.9, so we've got the German Sensible Soccer behind us, who I've raced against us a few times. I've seen him on track. He's a quick driver, and we have, as you can see, in third place, Momoz 91, and we will come on to him in a few moments in the video. Firstly, I just want to show the first couple of laps here and kind of sum up what happened at my end of the race, because a lot of what's happening behind me, obviously I didn't get to see until afterwards when I watched the replay. But as you can see from this first lap, it's a really close battle between myself and Sensible Soccer. Both of us are on the soft tyres, looking to break away from the rest of the pack, who were on mediums. I could see that from the pit lane before we went out. So Sensible Soccer in the Ford GT40, he's got a good run on me going up the home straight, and the thing about this is I really didn't want to have to battle with with somebody in P2, because it was just going to cost us time. So having to run a little bit narrow, a little bit defensive here, getting into the Senna S's. You can see him, he's got a run down the outside, but he's going to back out. Realised he wouldn't be able to hold the corner. Good racing though. As we scamper through the next lap, with nothing much happened. As you can see from the radar, it was tight all the way until he makes a move down the inside, which is a good move, and takes the position. So that was absolutely fine. But as you can see, we just kind of stuck to each other all the way through lap 3. I didn't, like I said, want to make a move in particular, because I knew it was just going to cost us time, so I was happy to let him go. But as you can see, getting in here into turn 1, it goes wide, and we've got an opportunity here. So we go to take the inside, and we just get bumped out the way there, and I really wasn't happy at this point, because like I said, I had the run on him, and he came back across me. So I gave him a little flash of the lights, to be honest with you. But watch this. Unbelievable act of sportsmanship. He actually lets us pass. They must have realised himself that he had come back across into me, prevented me from getting past. And a big shout out to Sensible Soccer. What an act. He's let me past him, and off we went. So after a couple of videos about having not seen much in the way of sportsmanship, we get the ultimate act of sportsmanship, because he gave us it there, and we never gave back the place after that. We actually dominated the rest of that race. So you can see it was relatively tight, 1 second, but it was up to more than that. The last lap I kind of eased off, and over the line we go to win the race. So yeah, that gets that side of things out of the way, and on we go now to have a little look at what was happening behind us, because I noticed in the chat afterwards somebody had made a comment. I think it was the Dr. Ivor, who finished P3, made a comment that Momoz was being a little bit dirty for a change. So I thought, let's go back and have a look at the replay. So as promised, we can enjoy the race here. First of all, Momoz indicates to the right there. Matthias Bauer going up the outside. I don't know what the indication was, and I noticed this throughout the race. Momoz sticking on his indicators. I mean, I don't know if he thinks he's on the public roads and he has to tell us if he's taking a left-hand turn or a right-hand turn at a junction, but it's really unusual what happens. But as you can see, Momoz defends over to the left, then moves to the right. Matthias thinks about going up the inside, but Momoz takes the racing line. All fine there, but you can see how much the track was getting backed up by Momoz, because he was really defensive. Now, there's nothing wrong with being defensive, but he was, in my view, when watching this back, I mean, there's defensive and there's defensive. I wondered at the time when I was battling for P1 why the pack weren't gaining on us, and watching it back now I realise why. Now what we then see is Dr. Ivor has managed to get up into 4th. He's on the soft tyres, Momoz is on the medium tyres, and Dr. Ivor puts a great move here round the outside, clean as you like, but watch this, Momoz just shoves him off the track, and that's a classic Momoz manoeuvre, up the inside, shoves somebody off the track from the inside, guarantees you won't get a penalty for it. You can see again, not letting Pigot, the Spaniard, get round him either, really defensive there, and look at the way, I mean, he's just all, you know, it's just blocking. I mean, it's just making sure that the guy behind can't get a run. And there goes the indicator again. What's that indicator for? So I want somebody to tell me why is he indicating, because normally that would tell me he's prepared to let you past. It just seems to be indicating to the right hand side to say I'm going to come across to the right hand side and possibly hit you. But there we go, he doesn't let him past. The indicator was just random, so he just squeezed Pigot. And Pigot, you can see he was getting ever increasingly frustrated. There's the indicator again. What's the indicator for? Why is he indicating to the right? What's he trying to tell people here? Because he's not giving up the position. Dr. Ivor having another go at getting past, ends up getting shoved out again. Again, the indicator to the right, and now we've got the indicator to the left. Now, what it's bizarre now. He's just squeezing Pigot there, just shoving him over. He's no way is he giving up a position. In fact, I think he's more determined just to back the whole field up rather than let somebody go. Now Pigot trying to get around the outside, but Momoz again having absolutely none of that. Up the inside, you're not getting past Momoz in that fashion. And Pigot was just getting increasingly frustrated here because he had the pace, so he gives Momoz a shove out the way. And guess what happens? Pigot, the Spaniard, gets the penalty. Now Momoz doesn't get any penalties for his act in the previous laps, and gets it here. But watch this. We've got another chance here to see Dr. Ivor. He manages to get past, which is fair enough. But the Brit behind him, he's now got Momoz in his sight. Momoz therefore we skip along here. Nothing much happening. He's just been really, really defensive. Like you can see, kind of even in high speed, he was weaving all over the track. He's not letting the Porsche get a chance to go behind. And that was obviously frustrating for the Brit and the Porsche because he was looking for a way past. But I mean, as I say, even though they even speeded up, you can see how much Momoz weaves across the track and just will not let you pass. Now, all this was doing was, as I say, backing the whole field up and not letting us pass. But here we'll see, he just goes a little bit wide, and there's the door open here, and the Brit says, I'm just going to force my way through here. I'm fed up with it. Momoz tries to have a little hit on him there, but it doesn't work out. And then somebody else tries to go up the inside, but he just shuts them off. He just comes across them. It's Matthias Bauer, actually, comes across him, not letting him get past. And we'll see here that he is going to try. I mean, you can tell the rage is building in Momoz here because he's getting into the pits. He gives the Brit a little tap, that just scrapes the barrier, and his sort of frustrations trying to get in really quickly to make up that time, make up that position. But I think he's just got the bit between his teeth now. He really just wants to exact a little bit of revenge on the Brit who had the audacity to actually go up the inside of him at a corner and not get a penalty against him for it. So out the pits we come after 6 laps, well on the 7th lap. They're now on the soft tyres. Now the Brits decide to give Momoz a bit of his own medicine there, just weaves across, defends, and Momoz is just, nah, I'm just going to shove you out wide and you can have a bit of that. So, well, some might call that just an aggressive move. But having seen the defensive and the blocking and what he did to somebody's spinning out there, the other drivers, it's more than that. And you can see the Brit now, he's lost his patience with him. He's wanting revenge. He's just bumping into him every corner. And Momoz is not even, they're not interested in racing anymore. This is what happens in races with Momoz. I feel I've seen so many, and he gets a penalty. Once again, Momoz hasn't had a penalty yet, but now 2 drivers have suffered penalties at his hands. And you can see here, tries to take him out again, fails to do so this time, but it's all very, very, and again trying to hit him off. It's all very, very, it's never an all-out ram. I think most people will accept that. It's never an all-out ram. It's always just subtle, run you off the track, give you a little shove wide, all that kind of stuff. But watch this, for anybody who's ever wanted to take some revenge, the indicator's on and the Brit just hit and just sends Momoz off track. But Momoz you know, he's quite keen to go off track, and unbelievably he manages to keep the car going and gets back out ahead. And I mean, it must be really, really frustrating to watch that. But he's got a 1.5 second penalty. So skipping forward, you actually hear now, we see him get serving his 1.5 second penalty, which for actually cutting the track, not for actually getting involved in anything, in any sort of nonsense. That's the only penalty he got, a 1.5 second track limit penalty. So all the contacts that he initiated, the running people off the road, all of that, no penalties. And you can see now, we skip forward, he ends up having a semi-decent battle here with Matthias Bauer, and it shows you he can drive clean, but he backed a whole field up of cars, caused two of them to get penalties, and, you know, just caused basically carnage. But it was it refreshing to see somebody actually taking a bit of revenge and shoving him off the track? Yeah, it probably was to many, even if it was worth taking a penalty. But yeah, that kind of summed up the race, and it you know, nothing much else happened after that. He kind of battled out with Matthias Bauer and came across the line in 5th place. And as you can see, there's the final positions in the race. So, you know, he started P3, finished P5, and he probably could have finished P3 if he just concentrated on racing. You know, we've got the guy, the Brit. Space Time finished ahead of him, even though finished one behind him, even though he took a penalty. We've got Pugot, who finished 9th, he took a penalty, you know. But you know, people were just getting so frustrated that they were prepared to just take penalties and hit him. But it was no worse than what he has done to them, yet he never serves a penalty. It's quite unbelievable. I don't know if he's got, I don't know, pictures of the dev team for PD. Has he got incriminating pictures to stop them giving them penalties, stop them banning them from the game? Who knows? But there you can see I'm typing a message that was intended for Sensible Soccer to say thanks for your amazing sportsmanship, but he'd left the lobby. I don't know if he was annoyed or not. But you can see, I mean, you know, a few comments, somebody F this game. You know, some people, look, where is it? Yeah, somebody saying you really are that dirty, lol. That was the Brit and the Porsche. But a lot of the frustrations in that race were actually caused by the fact that Momoz backed that field up, and it created havoc behind them because everybody was basically bunched to the point that they couldn't move at certain corners, and he was not interested in at all on trying to stay with the leaders. He was just really, thou shall not pass. That was his whole prerogative to that race. It was quite unbelievable to watch. And it's the first time I've ever seen a couple of drivers actually just decide, I'll take the penalty and I'll just hit him. Because, I mean, he runs Dr. Ivor off the road, and then he hits into Pugot a few times, and then the Brit, the Space Time, you know, he just tried to take him out 2 or 3 times until eventually, you know, he exacted his revenge. So, all in all, it was one of those races with Momoz that, you know, you get every now and again, but a lot of people have been calling for him to have action taken, but who knows? I don't think it'll happen. But once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.